Hello everybody, I'm glad you're liking my YouTube channels right now. So, it's about I want to tell you a story about how I love movies a lot, like all the time. But, yeah, alright, here it goes. When I was young, like really younger, like 4, 5, or 6, or like right before kindergarten, my first movie trilogy that I ever watched in my whole life was Star Wars. When I watched it, I was like, "Oh my gosh, these movies are amazing! Wow, I love, I love the AT-AT battle, the Hoth battle, and Empire Strikes Back. Oh my gosh, the space battle and the New Hope, and oh my gosh, the Endor battles. Oh my gosh, those three very first Star Wars movies were amazing, and the Clone Wars movies were good. The Clone Wars series was okay, good, but I prefer like." There were the very first three, and that was really good. And so then, when Star Wars came a huge hit for me, I decided that I want to always want to get like Lego Star Wars of them. Yeah, and I like, I like Lego Star Wars a lot, like all the time when I was like really young. hmm And now that I'm kind of like this year in 2021, I kind of miss the old Lego sets, like the 2005s to like the 1999 to like 2010. Those sets were amazing. But the sets like today, they're okay. I just wish I can like turn back time to when I go back to my old age, my younger ages, and get those kinds of toys. So then, I still like Star Wars now, but when I started kindergarten one year, a new movie trilogy popped into my head. This character came out in 1954, and his name is. Yep. So when I started kindergarten, I kind of got used to like first and second grade, I got like really used to like old classic monster movies and monster movies all the time. Like, especially Godzilla. He's one of my most favorite movie trilogies of all. And when I heard And so then I watched like a few movies. So yeah, I became like a big Godzilla lover, fan lover, and I started like watching some movies like on Netflix and stuff. Like Godzilla's Revenge. I used to watch it on Netflix a lot until they kind of like took it off. But then one day at night, my brother came home and he surprised me with this. This is Godzilla's Revenge. I'm And this was used to be my favorite Godzilla movie of all time. And it was like really amazing. All the action, monsters, and stuff. And it was really good. So I started like getting some other Godzilla movies until there's this one time where I heard there's a Godzilla movie where he fights another famous movie monster. And that is King Kong vs. Godzilla in the 1962 movie. So then, so then I always ask that for my birthday, and one time when my uncle came up to me and said, "I got a big surprise for you, Oscar," and he gave me a present that for me, and I opened it up and I realized it was King Kong vs. Godzilla, and that movie was so amazing that I was like, "Oh my gosh, the King of Skull Island versus the King of the Monsters! Wow!" So then that became my next favorite Godzilla movie. So then I started getting more DVDs of Godzilla, and and there's a bunch of other Godzilla stuff that I have. But here's this one short story I'm going to tell you about me with Godzilla. One time, my dad took me to a comic book store, me and my brother to a comic book store, and there was like all sorts of like comics. I wasn't actually really a comic book fan. I was more of a action figure, toys, and stuff fan. And so my brother told me that they have Godzilla comics, and I was like, that's cool. And I was fine with okay with comics sometimes, and they also had Godzilla figures, and I was happy to get that. So my dad got me one of my very first Godzilla action figures of all time, and I have it with me right now. And so I was so happy that I took it everywhere with me, that I made it like my own friend. If I'm like Andy from Toy Story and that figure's like Woody, here, I'll show you it. Ta-da! This is like the 80s Godzilla. He almost looks like the burning Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Destroyer. So, yep. So then, I watched a bunch of trilogies of Godzilla, but when I heard they made like a 2014 one, I was like surprised, and I thought like Godzilla was gonna be the only one in it. And I was like, so then my mom took me, my brother, and my babysitter, who's now actually my friend now, and we went to go see it, and it was amazing. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And it became almost like one of my favorite Godzilla movies that I've been always want to watch it for a special time. Yep. And so that movie was good. And that was like the very first like movie trilogy of that new Godzilla movie. But when I heard 5 years later, after 2014 and 2019, they made The King of the Monsters, and I was really excited for that. It was during my I saw that movie on my last day, after a few days of my last day of school as my very first middle schooler. And so I watched it, and it amazed me really good. All those monsters were amazing. And that was the greatest movie I've seen of all time, and a perfect soundtrack with it. So then, that was okay. Godzilla's okay, Star Wars is okay, and Marvel's okay with it. Iron Man's cool, and Black Widow's cool. Is that right, Scarlett Johansson poster? She can never take her eyes off me. Anyway, I'm still a big fan of Godzilla, and I'm still a big fan of Star Wars, Marvel, DC, Predator, Aliens, a little bit of Terminators. And other stuff like that. So, I just want to tell you the story of how I loved movies and how I want to become a YouTuber, because I kind of want to feel like being famous and all, and want you guys to subscribe to me and all, and that'll be cool. So I know you think my story sounds cool, but it is really amazing. So that's the video I have for today. Hope you like it. Bye!